Good day, good day. So today is the 31st of January 2026. Who remembers what's happened 4 years ago here? And who knows where this is? So, few people maybe don't know. That's the Australian Federal Parliament up on the hill. So yeah, it's a part of a short history. It's not too long ago. A lot of people forgot. Even I have to refresh my memory. Got the timelines a bit wrong. I had to make sure that we went first to the new parliament, or did we went first to the library, or to the old parliament. Because I had a memory where we went for a march on a Monday to the old Parliament House. So I googled up again the time, and it was a Monday, the 31st of January 2022. So yeah, but found photos. I posted on my Facebook page a link, no description, nothing, from the National Library, and they actually have photos what's happened on this day. Make the show is come to the point. So on the 31st of January, for me, it's Remembrance Day, when the march to Canberra, actually, when the convoy to Canberra actually arrived in Canberra. A lot of people ask, why was there a convoy to Canberra? But I think it's the wrong question to ask. Why was there a convoy to Canberra? The question should be, what happened? What went wrong that a convoy to Canberra had to happen? And it was not really a lot of people, from my memory. Very huge amount. I mean, let it be not more than 500 people. But when you look here at the pillars in front, here, between the pillars, there was police standing in the gap. And then you see the people walking up around 1 o'clock-ish, plus minus. I came a bit, I think I arrived at 1 o'clock. It was maybe supposed to be a bit earlier. We had on the lawn some banners and stuff, and then decided to walk up. Between each pillar stood a police officer, and people just walked past and filled the whole area. Parliament got locked up. Police were barricading the entrance door. And for me, it was the beginning, what also led to the 12th of February. Back to the question, why we shouldn't ask why people came, why we should ask what happened, why this happened. And I think the problem is in here, in this building here, part of. And somehow they got too much power and no accountability anymore. You have to see the parliament, the people in parliament who make the laws, legislations, they get the authorization from the constitution. And a lot of people saying the Australian Constitution is one of the best, and I say it could be better because it got hijacked from people. They're organizing parties, and the parties implementing their agendas, ideologies and stuff. I'm not even globally agendas. There could be just their private agendas. Could be a billionaire who wants to achieve something. He finances a few politicians, creating a party. The party gets the majority, and the law gets created. And supposedly, with the rule book and guidelines how our federal government is built, comes from the Constitution. And there it states that we have separated powers. So we have the justice system, the lawyers, the judges, and we have the politicians. And that should be separated. But when you look who is appointing our High Court judges, it's the Parliament. This one's here. So they are selecting who will be a judge. They are announcing how much money they're getting. So the people in power can choose people who decide who judge under the law what they're creating. That's not a democracy. That's not independent. And then we have an Attorney General, which is nothing else than a minister. So he shouldn't be involved in law. But yes, some charges under certain legislations need authorization from the Attorney General. And some of these charges are the most likely broken by the police. And this year again, as there were many elections before, the Attorney General was the Minister for Police. So how do we have a separation of justice when the Minister for Police has to authorize a charge under our Criminal Crimes Act, which most likely get broken by the police? So it's impossible to find justice. And then you have the judges that get selected, appointed by the Parliament. So they're all under the same government, the same people. And then we have our Governor General, which should be the buffer between the people and the representative of the king, who has the last say. So all these things worked in the days when it was created. Why did it work? Because normal people still had honor and respect and dignity. But these days it's gone. And imagine the rule book for the politicians would be changed. There would be limitations, or the selection of, or the acknowledgement, the confirmation of judges, Prime Minister and High Court would be up to the people, like in a referendum, or the recognition of a legislation made by elected ministers in Parliament and confirmed, debated by the Senate, would be authorized through a referendum by the people. This would be a democracy. And then a lot of people talking about, or even the Parliament talking about, a republic. So we're seeing republic is not really working. We see in America and Dominican Republic and everywhere else it's nothing else than, again, a hidden dictatorship, slowly. What about an Australian United Sovereign States? It's like the Federation. Same principles. We have the states. We are united. Same government, but confirmed through referendums by the people. And imagine there wouldn't be any parties representing Parliament. Every minister would have to stand up for what he got voted in, what he preached before he got elected. And then you would get decisions in Parliament which reflects the opinions of the people that they voted for. And if you imagine this would be in place, would we had a convoy to Canberra? So it's not the reason why we came. Why we came, we know. Government is corrupt, it's not working, the system is rigged, you can't fix it, it's already fixed like a bed. But if we put measurements in and making a good constitution better, I think we're in the right place. If the people actually would have to say again what's going on. So yes, that's a little bit of a memory and a history and what my thoughts are. I'm pretty much since this day, the 31st January 2022, I came back to remind myself why we're here, what we have achieved, and what was the fault, what is the problem. It took me a while. A lot of people woke up, got more information, got educated about cooperation. You can say it's cooperation, you can say it's not. It doesn't matter. In the end, we know it's not working. It's infiltrated. It's not anymore the law for the people. And we know they're making laws, they're unconstitutional, and they don't care. We know they're sending money over to states which operated by terrorists, but which clearly in their own law, what they created in Parliament, has penalties of jail for a few years. We know the laws is not anymore for the people. We know the government is not really anymore proud of the country. We used to have parades. In a previous video I said marches on Australia Day, which these parades had to be organized by a government and was supported. And now we have rivalry demonstrations, one for Australia and one for Invasion Day. People who born on the same land, just with a different history, background, can't live together. That's concerning. I made before a short video on the lawn. I saw so many different birds. Bin chickens, galahs, ducks, parrots, magpie, miners, and a rabbit running through. All big bunches of groups of birds on the lawn, mingling together. And I thought, why can this be happen? They're not just different species, they're different kind of animals. They're birds and rabbits. And then I thought, maybe they speak a different language, they can't communicate. Maybe no one can tell them they have to hide each other. They're just being there and living together, accepting each other. So I'm wondering what's happened with us. Why can't we just live with each other, support each other. The good old spirit of Aussie, volunteering, making a raffle ticket, having working bees, celebrating. We all get told we can't. Fear to keep us enslaved in our money. But since then, when I first came here on the 31st, I came because I wasn't allowed to work anymore. Because I didn't take voluntarily medications, which meant I wasn't allowed to supply food for my family anymore. I couldn't work, and as an obedient part of Australia, I don't want to break the laws and I don't want to work without tax, which is unlawful. It's more criminal than if you would bash someone down the road. So I learned to live on the road, and I learned what you need really to survive is water, food, clothes, a roof over your head, and good company. Yes, money makes it easier, but you don't need it. But we all the time get told we need the money. Clothes, you can get. You can trade it in for labor,